Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the men's room.
And away we go. Welcome to show number 2831. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, Wobbin Fox, and Mike Hawk. And you are in the men's room. On tap today, Ryan Castle's A Drunken Charge is into Sit and Spin. Today, 10 rock songs that went to number 1. What you don't need to know has things that you don't need to know. Get ready to play Profile This. Plus headlines, the men's room shout of the day, fun listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Click, clack.
Drinking it, John. All right, here we go. Colorado man peeing on passenger seat mid-flight, now facing charges from the feds. Meanwhile, a woman goes into a rage at a upstate New York McDonald's as French fry anger spreads. To San Antonio Airport, where monkey named Dawkins hangs out in baggage claim. Mom gets upset about how the wording on a graduation cake came. And South Carolina kayaker attacked by falling rattlesnake. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, if you live in St. Augustine, Florida, and you decided maybe you had a hankering for a Frosty and a Baconator, well, maybe you had to wait an additional 4 hours. This while police waited for an angry man on the roof to stop yelling at people. Now, the man in question was wearing only his underwear. In England, a man is in court after he was caught high on MDMA filling a hotel bathtub with potatoes. I do not know if filling a bathtub with potatoes is illegal. The MDMA is. But like the angry Florida guy, this guy also in just his underwear. He had one small addition. He was also wearing a bra. At Cornell University in New York State, Ithaca specifically, a professor there told a senior who was about to present her senior thesis, quote, "Your shorts are too small." They're just too short. So she obliged. She understood, all right, I can't wear these. So she ended up presenting her senior thesis in only her underwear. Keep in mind, the headlines are endless. Woman wakes to find deputy in underwear in her bed. Man shows up drunk in underwear to old boss's house. Look, you get the idea, but it leads us to believe that we all have that story of the time that we were, quote, only in our underwear. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We want to know, why were you in only your underwear?
Be part of the big show. Call 844-999-OLA. You can like The Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to themensroom@mensroomlive.com. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bichola. You have entered the men's room.
Hola, bicholas, and away we go. Welcome to show number 2831. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat as the Drunken Charge Ryan Castle is coming in with the 10 rock songs that went to number 1. That's right. It's it's a crowded chart back in the day. You had some country music was played, some pop music was played, rock music was played. If it was a big hit and it went to number 1, it just dominated, and depending on the format, I guess, rock had 10 of those. They went to number 1, so Ryan Castle, the Drunken Charge, coming in to sit and spin. What you don't need to know has things that you honestly really just don't need to know. We will drink and toast with a shot of the day, and Profile This is also coming up. So today, we're going to talk about being in your underwear, and why were you in only your underwear? And as you said, Steve, the man who spent 4 hours in his underwear was on the roof of a St. Augustine Wendy's. St. Augustine, Florida, we go to. What I believe one of the older cities.
I believe so.
Here in the United States, in the continental United States. In very historic, if I recall, there are forts and all kinds of just incredible architecture.
That's great, Miles. There's also a naked guy in the Wendy's.
Well, but
all this other stuff. The only thing I'd remember
is old classic city.
Right. The only thing I'd remember from my vacation was, you went to historic St. Augustine. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I remember is I just wanted a Baconator, and for 4 hours, there's a guy in his underwear screaming at me on the roof.
It's beautiful. It looks like old San Juan, Puerto Rico, but no, man.
It's built by the Spanish.
A man found his way to the roof of a St. Augustine Wendy's Saturday night, where he stripped down to his underwear and started yelling at onlookers to take a look at his Baconator. The St. Johns County Sheriff's Office tweeted Saturday around 8:45 they were responding to a troubled individual in the area of US 1. Deputies on the scene with a despondent individual on the roof of the Wendy's. There is no threat to public safety, and we are working on a way to reach the individual and get him the necessary help that he needs. According to witnesses at the scene, the unidentified man had an argument with someone, became irate, and climbed to the roof on top of the Wendy's. After the man climbed to the roof, he stripped down to his underwear, and he started yelling at onlookers, according to witnesses.
Awesome.
It wasn't until 4 hours after the original tweet that the man was helped down by a rescue team. Unfortunately, the restaurant had to close during the incident. Which sucks, man, because, if you just want something delicious from Wendy's, you just want to get a Frosty. Like, why can't I go? And that would be my problem. Be like, officer, look, I know he's on the roof.
But he's on the roof.
What do you think? Is he going to jump down on the roof of my car while I'm getting my Frosty? Can I walk in and get it then, if you think that's what's going to happen? Can I just go get a Frosty?
What if he jumps on your head?
Well, then I'll be looking up. I'll bring a golf umbrella.
I'll dodge him. But dude,
he's down. Then he's off the roof.
I just want to get a Frosty. They can certainly make a Frosty while that guy's on the roof.
What is he going to do up there that's going to make a difference on whether the worst thing you can do is start grilling hamburgers, because I guarantee you they've got a vent up there with a fan on it. He's going to get hit with the deliciousness that Wendy's makes on their grill, and then he's going to get hungry. You want to come down. Right?
Fire up the grill.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Fire up the grill. Hell, I mean, if I smelled hamburgers, I'd be like, man, you know what?
That's all it takes for you.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, when you
have a hostage situation, but
I'm not holding
some
anyone
burgers.
hostage. I'm saying cook
a burger.
Yeah, cook a burger. Slide it under the door. He'll be out.
Fair enough. All right, let's go. Oh, boy, this is a hell of a story. A drugged-up man was caught filling up a hotel bathroom with potatoes while wearing a bra during an epic 5-day MDMA binge. Wow. Man, that's a long... How much MDMA would you have, Ted, to go on a 5-day binge?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Probably less than
I don't know.
you think.
I don't know anything about... Is that an 8-hour drug? Is that a 10-hour drug? Do we know how long the drug is?
Kind of inadvertently, everyone's had the... Well, not everyone's had the story. In fact, I'm sure most people have not had the story, but if you get any, on your fingers and just kind of lick it off, you're good for a while, man.
Okay, all right.
If that's not your intent. So, you don't need a ton of it to have a good time for 5 days.
Okay. When Judge...
5 days is a long time, though.
It is a long time, but you don't need a lot of it to get going. If you go 8 hours at a time, it's only 3 times a day, right? If you're just going to fire up the whole time.
Yeah, I have a feeling this guy probably was eating a lot of it.
When Judge Peter Henry asked James Johnson why he was filling up a bathtub with potatoes, he replied, It felt the right thing to do at the time. Johnson was caught by officers wearing a woman's bra over his shirt and carrying a bag of spuds as he entered the Travelodge. Officers searched his room and found an Aladdin's cave of drugs, including ecstasy, another designer drug similar to MDMA called 5-MAPB, and a psychedelic substance called 2CB. No idea.
Also known as droids from Star Wars.
Southampton Crown Court heard that Johnson and 2 friends had decided to go on a one-night binge, which ended up lasting for 5 days.
That's my kind of party, man.
James Kellum, prosecuting, told the court hotel staff phoned the police after smelling cannabis in the room. So that's what he got busted with.
That's what it was.
Boy.
It might not be the greatest look, but I would think I could wear a woman's bra on the outside of my shirt, carry a bag of potatoes, and I haven't broken any laws, right?
I guess not.
I'm with you, right, because none of it adds up. Then it's like, they were smoking weed in the room.
He's weird. Right, man. I see Word of the Night walking down the downtown streets.
According to the Southampton Daily Echo, Dr. Kellum said that he saw Johnson with a bag of potatoes in women's clothing. It may be this that led officers to believe that he was intoxicated. He had brought the drugs on the dark web for about 750 pounds, but a drug expert found that the value of the drugs was around 300. So he got ripped off.
Well,
and
sure.
wouldn't that suck? You know what I mean? Not only did you get busted, whatever, but now they have a drug expert come in and go like, how much did you pay for that? And you went, oh, this little bag of weed I bought? Oh, I paid $50. You paid too much. You know what? I mean?
What? You
should only had to pay 20. You
Does
dumbass.
that bother you?
Right.
Wouldn't I be like, I got high, brother?
Yeah,
He bought it off the dark web.
The dark web.
Like
He knows. He wanted to
nobody
get
says
high.
go to the dark web because they've got competitive prices.
Right. That's not something you...
Right?
Exactly.
He's ordering illegal drugs
Right.
over the internet. Like, you go pay that price, homie.
Johnson of Arundel was remorseful and an intelligent man who said he made a mistake. Judge Henry said the case was odd and bizarre and sentenced Johnson to a 18-month community order with a requirement to carry out a 9-month drug rehabilitation program as well. Our question, why were you in only your underwear? 844-999-OLA.
I just gotta say, I don't know if that's an excuse. We're just playing the party for one night. We partied for 5. Like, I mean, you could, but you can go to sleep and stop doing it. Like, it sounds like
You
they
could.
must have just woken up from naps and been like, let's get high.
You're having a good time. But look, as someone who loves drugs, I mean, this guy, when he said, why were you filling the bathtub with potatoes? And he said it seemed like the right thing to do at the time. That's probably the truest statement anyone has ever said in the court of law. Everyone goes in there, and I'm telling you, if you've been where he's at, like, I don't know why it was a good idea, but once you decide that it's a good idea, there is no better idea on this earth. And in that moment, like,
you know what we're going to do? We're going to walk to, you know what I mean? Or
I hope they were just that
we're gonna
high.
find
that
White
had
Castle.
They had an argument about French fries, and it got to the point where the one guy's like, I'm getting whole potatoes, and we're going to soak them.
We're going to do it right now. We can just put them in the bag. And in that moment, you
That
go
is,
like, not breaking. It's weird, but it's all right, man.
Why were you in only your underwear? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Paul. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So my story starts like all good stories with 151 and Mountain Dew and weed.
Okay, that's how all good started. That's how the beginning. Every Oscar-winning movie that anyone's ever seen opens with a scene of 151 Mountain Dew and a bag of weed.
And no offense, sir, but I'm pretty sure you stole that exact quote from Meryl Streep at her most recent Oscar win. You know, honestly, in all these years in Hollywood, and if you know me, you know this is true. It's 151 Mountain Dew and weed. That is how I start for every movie. So what happened to you?
Well, all right. Well, I'm like 15 at the time, right? And my friends are at this old closed down school up in North Seattle, and we're just drinking. And then we started doing like calling people and telling them how much we love them and stuff like that. You know.
Stuff like
and then
that.
I'm walking to his house with him. And at this point, I'm already blacked out. And I live like a good 5-6 miles from his house. And I somehow convinced him, because we're both F-faced, so I somehow convinced him that it's a good idea to let me walk home. Like, I can get home from here. Next thing I remember, I'm outside in front of somebody's house in my underwear, and the cops are handing me my pants to put it back on.
So when you say somebody's house, I assume this is a complete stranger?
Oh, yeah. But I have no idea who this house was. But I was like half a mile away from my friend's house at this point, and I must have thought it was my house, because their door was unlocked, so I just walked into their house, and I got into bed with them.
Oh! I have to ask, did you graduate high school?
No, but I have a BA now.
Oh,
so.
nice. You have a BA now, and you didn't graduate.
A big ass. No, he eats a lot.
That's really impressive.
Code.
And were they sleeping when you got into bed, or did you just walk into the house?
Those are all the details I have, but they didn't press charges though, which was really cool, and I didn't get shot, so those are both two good things.
Those are
bonuses.
Yes.
Did you ever see these people again?
I didn't even see them that time. All I saw was 3 police officers.
So basically, all you recall is the interaction with the officers. You were told that you went into this house. You were told that you got into bed with this couple. You were told all these things.
Yeah.
The only thing you actually remember was the officers relaying this information to you.
Yeah.
So did the cops then give you a ride back to your home?
No. They called my mom, and my mom picked me up, and like I'm still like pretty drunk at this point, and I have my pre-SAT to go to, right? So I convinced my mom to give me a ride to my school, and then I ended up getting suspended for 90 days.
90 days?
Wow. Why did you get suspended for 90 days?
Because I got there and I tried to go in and take my pre-SAT like very visibly drunk. Just coming out of a blackout, pretty much.
And why was your mom not the key to make better decisions than you at this point?
Well, she just wanted me to be taught a lesson, so I got a 90-day vacation.
Okay. All right, that makes sense.
Damn,
Gotcha.
all right.
Okay.
90
It
days.
is kind of odd because showing up to school drunk, irresponsible. But being drunk and knowing you still need to take the pre-SAT, responsible.
You know, right. I mean, it's kind of that double-edged sword, man.
It's,
you know, you go like, hey,
well,
I still have this obligation. You don't realize how poorly you're going to perform, but he made it a point to get there for his obligation.
I think it's important that you go into the situation the same way you prepared for it. So when I was in college, if I had to study for a psychology test, I would get very stoned, and I would study for a couple hours, whatever I thought was good enough, and then I'd wake up before I had to go to class.
You remembered everything, didn't you?
I got stoned again.
Sure.
And then once I got, not when I woke up, but once I got stoned again, I was like, oh, yeah. And then I'd see the material.
You remembered all.
And it all comes back to me. I was like, this makes complete sense. And I walk out of there and like, you know what? I nailed that damn thing. And I did.
And listen, I mean, people can say what they want about weed, but for me, scholastically, academically, it absolutely helped. And it's for this one simple reason. And think about it. All of us will go back and complain about the crap we had to read in high school because it was of no interest to us, therefore no value, right? But when you get stoned, at least for me, certain things that were never interesting are now fascinating in the moment, but I retain the information. Look,
you retain the information.
If you get high and channel surf, right, you're going to end up watching the guy with, like, the cello, right? But you will remember every detail they gave you about the cello because you pay more attention. When I went to do the test, I would get stoned and I would ace any. I would never do homework, but I'd ace every test.
I was the type of person I could read something if I was sober. And like you said, if you weren't interested in it, I'd think, oh, my God, my mind just wandered. I skimmed the words. I'm pretty sure I read them to myself.
I wouldn't even do that.
No idea what in the hell that was all about. Like, I basically just checked out, and I'm daydreaming, and I'm not paying attention to the words. Now, when I'm stoned, I'm like, he did what?
I know, it's fascinating.
Right. I'm like, he bounced a ball? Wow, who does that? Like, just the stupidest basic thing. But I'm like, all right, I can retain this information now.
And it's whatever.
It's almost like it was a reverse mechanism of like ADD medication. You know what I mean? I can finally focus if I'm high.
As I'm focused, I just got interested.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm sorry, man.
Boring
if you're not
stuff
interested, you just can't focus. That's how it goes. But look, and people will say, well, that's terrible. And it's like, no, it's not terrible because the other alternative was to cheat. Because what I'm telling you, there was no chance I was going to do the honest work. School was a joke to me. When I was in school, I got how this works. Like, just graduate. It amounts to nothing, but you just need to graduate to let people know that you can at least do that.
I didn't
right?
get high in high school.
What it comes down
the
to?
thing was, I didn't get high in high school, so it was really hard for me. High school it sucked. I hated it.
High school was hard for me.
Yeah, but then when I got to college, man, I could get stoned and go to class. Like I wanted to go.
You want to learn?
I wanted to go.
I want information.
I know. I was stoned. I was like walking around like, this is great. My first class isn't until 10:30.
Right.
Hooking it up. You know what I mean? Higher than a kite. Walk in, take notes. I did fine.
Things are fascinating.
Yeah, they really were.
That's all it was. Because they're so, everyone sounds like Ben Stein when they're presenting the information. But when you're stoned, in spite of the fact that they sound like a burned out battery in Alexa or something like that, you actually retain the information. They should actually pipe like weed smoke into all kinds of places.
Women walking around. I could go eat Taco Bell. You know what I mean? Like, oh hell, man, this is heaven.
Now see, this is
Taco Bell at the dining hall.
Oh yeah.
Well, think about it. If you can make people reasonably happy in a situation they feel obligated to be in, they're going to be more cooperative, right?
Yep.
So you have better food options. You feel better about being there. I'll pay more attention. You can get stoned if you want. They don't encourage it, but they know it's a college. They know what's going on. You show up. You're stoned. You're eating Taco Bell, and you know what you're doing? You're learning.
That's right.
All right. You're learning something. So maybe Why don't we try to hook the kids up? I'm not saying get them stoned, but Christ almighty, give them better life. Anything, man.
Change the book.
Something.
Sounds like you're saying get them stoned.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying that, but
I'm not.
We both had great success getting stoned every day.
As far as the success of my grades.
Don't do that.
It helped
but
my
I'm
grades.
not also saying do that. I'm just saying, whatever you feel.
I wouldn't say...
I won't judge.
Look, if you go on long runs, I'm not telling you to get high before you get on and go like 10, 12 miles, but I'm saying it sure does help. If you've never done it before, I would highly recommend getting real baked, throw on some big fat hokas, and just take the hell off.
I wouldn't... Look, you don't have to take Advil if you have a headache, right? You can ride it out,
Don't take my advice.
But for me... Just saying.
The first 6 miles, you don't even realize you did. Why were it? Because you're so high. You just look like, oh, wow, look at that.
Wait, it says Miles. Here's a fair question. Miles, didn't you have to drug test to play NCAA football?
Yes, you did. Once or twice.
But you were a punter, all right? So did they even target? And nothing against punters.
They pee everybody, man.
Did they They're going to pee everybody. Did they target you as much?
There was never...
I'm a linebacker that's killing people. You're the punter. Who do you think's going to get more randoms?
There was no such thing.
Your ass should have gotten randoms all the time just because I know you.
Random meant that you got a test, but everybody got a test.
So it was random to everybody.
So if I showed up and reeked of weed, they might give me a test if I did something that they would think, oh my goodness, you're
knowing you wasn't enough.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, goddamn, you were not working with
there wouldn't be a kicker or a punter in any college.
Because you know they're not targeting you.
But you'd think punters would get tested more.
Anybody from
Miami. I'm the coach and I have a linebacker and a punter, no offense, test the punter.
Sure.
Don't test. I know what you're saying as the coach.
Right.
I'm just saying, look, man, leave the punter alone.
How's getting high going to help my... All right, you know what? If I had to run freaking longer than 10 miles, it would be to my benefit. But other than that, in that arena, you know what I mean?
You mean like football?
Yeah, exactly. Come on now, man.
You were doing station stoned?
No.
It's like you didn't even care.
Right now. Who am I? Why were you in only your underwear? 844-999-OLA. More of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
A man went on a drunken rampage and caused several $1,000s in property damage at his former boss's Cape Coral home. Police arrested 27-year-old Johnny Hinnick late on Sunday night after he was found wandering drunk in the neighborhood wearing only his boxer shorts. Hinnick's former employer said Hinnick showed up to his home but was told to leave, and then he became aggressive. He was very drunk. You could smell the alcohol on him. According to the arrest report, Hinnick's recorded blood alcohol level was 0.33.
Wow.
Police say Hinnick became violent, pushed over the man's Harley Davidson, ripped a mailbox from a neighbor's yard, and then used that to smash his ex-boss's car repeatedly. Then he broke the back driver's side window out and then put the mailbox inside of the car and came back and started beating on the door. The homeowner chased after the man until police were able to arrive. He is still in custody on $20,000 bond.
Wow, man.
Our question, why were you in only your underwear? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Calvin. Welcome to the Men's Room.
What's up, fellas?
Hola.
How you going, Ted?
What up, man?
So, gentlemen, this is about 2 years ago. I was on a work trip down to New Orleans. And the night before we all wrapped up, we went out, and the boss at the time decided it'd be a good idea to buy us all a bunch of those hurricane drinks. So proceeded to have only 2 of those and was feeling pretty good. And went back to the hotel and went to bed. And next thing I remember, I woke up, and my thought process kind of went like this. First of all, where am I? Why am I in my underwear? And, oh, my God, this is the 8th floor lobby of the hotel.
This is the what now lobby? The main floor lobby? Is that what you said?
No, the 8th floor
lobby. Okay, all right.
8th floor elevator. Yeah, I was on the 8th. So then I realized, oh, man, I'm by the elevators. I hope my hotel room door is open. So I go running to the hotel room door, and it's closed, of course, locked. So I had a bright idea and figured, okay, well, this is why they have telephones at the hotel elevators. I always wondered why. So
that's exactly why Alexander Hamilton Graham Bell, honest to God, he invented the telephone. He was tired of being locked out of his home in just his underwear, It needed a way to read. You stumbled on the exact purpose of the
I've
telephone.
always wondered why they had this phone, these USA Todays, and these two chairs on every floor.
People in underwear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I figured it out. Yeah. So anyway, I called down, and the lady answers the phone, and I said, yeah, it seemed to have locked myself out. Okay, sugar, I'll be right up. So I'm waiting down by my door, kind of standing in shame, and around walks this very large lady, and she sees me, and she goes, oh. And I said, yeah, sorry. And said, oh, don't worry, sugar. This is knowledge. This happens all the time. So she proceeds to let me into my room, and I go back to sleep. And next morning, I'm up checking out. It's time for us all to check out. And all my buddies are downstairs in the lobby checking out as well. Well, I step up to the counter, and lo and behold, she's still there working. She's working the night shift and hasn't got off yet. First words out of her mouth were, oh, hey, sugar, didn't recognize you with your clothes on.
Oh, yeah.
Right in front of all of my buddies and colleagues, to which I still have not gotten over that one.
Yeah.
Uh,
What do you think happened, man? Do you think that you just fell asleep and you got up and you got the idea? Do you normally sleepwalk, or do you have any idea what happened?
Never. I had never slept walk before that or sleepwalk. And I mean, I only had 2 hurricanes, but I don't know what it did to me. It definitely.
Did you? We do.
Hurricanes
You ended up
do that.
Yeah, they call it a hurricane.
Did
Now
you
think about a hurricane?
Nothing good happened.
Right.
Okay, so
Exactly.
Did you wake up with like the worst hangover ever? Were there any signs that this hurricane had blown through town? You know what I mean? Like,
no, man, I felt totally fine. It was so weird. It was just like I said. I woke up walking around, stroking my beard. Looking down, wondering why the hell I was in my underwear, thinking to myself, oh, God, I hope my hotel room is open.
Sure.
Because, yeah, I had no idea.
stroking your beard in a thinking way.
Yeah.
Not a euphemism.
Why were you in only your underwear? 844-999-OLA.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.